police are adamant this was an accident, but the public isn't buying it. There are simply too many things that don't add up. Hey everyone, before we dive into the video, we want to announce that we're launching a brand new segment called Trace Your Story. For this segment, you can send us a real-life story you've experienced, from horror and cheating to crime or any other true story you have. Send us your story at virellcian_traceyourstory@gmail.com using this format. Email subject: Trace Your Story. Story title: Your title here. Tell us your experience in as much detail as possible. Feel free to include any supporting photos or evidence if you have them. Optional contact: your WhatsApp number or another way we can reach you for more information. Don't worry, you can absolutely send your story anonymously if you prefer. We'll do our best to create a video and tell your experience. I'm really looking forward to your emails, and who knows, your story might be the very first one featured on Trace Your Story. Don't forget to submit your stories. I'll be waiting and can't wait to read them. Hey everyone, it's Sean, and welcome back to Trace Zero. For this episode, we're covering a developing case in Chinese entertainment. On September 11th, 2025, the entire nation of China was stunned by the news: the death of Yu Menglong. The actor, who rose to fame through the drama The Love Lasts Two Minds, also known as Two Worlds of Happiness, was found dead after reportedly falling from his apartment building in Beijing. The police were quick to declare no foul play, ruling Yu Menglong's fall an accident. This official statement was immediately disputed by both fans and the Chinese public, who pointed out too many suspicious inconsistencies. So, was it truly as simple as the police claimed, or was there something much more complex being covered up? Adding fuel to the fire, many local media outlets that covered the case were censored and reportedly instructed to remove the news reports they had already published. The police's statement sounded definitive, but there are gaps that just can't be ignored. Because you never know how deep this hole goes. Yu Menglong, also known as Alan Yu, was born on the 15th of June 1988, making him 37 years old at the time of his death. He initially launched his career in the music industry as a singer before successfully transitioning into acting. He shot to fame almost instantly with the 2015 web drama Go Princess Go. His celebrity status only grew, especially after his role in Eternal Love, one of the most successful fantasy dramas in Chinese history. With his handsome looks, melodic voice, and impressive acting skills, Yu Menglong was known as a multi-talented artist who amassed millions of fans both in China and internationally. However, despite his brilliant career, Yu Menglong was known to be a fairly private, mysterious, and reserved person when it came to his personal life. Although, according to his fans, he was a very warm and genuine artist who never sought publicity or drama. Instead, he was always focused on honing his skill set and developing his talent. He was known to be a perfectionist, always striving to deliver his best in every role he took. He was even willing to turn down major projects if he felt the character wasn't the right fit. Sadly, despite his long list of achievements, his name is now primarily associated with his questionable death. What exactly happened on that fateful day? On the 10th of September 2025, Yu Menglong was still active on the Chinese social media platform Weibo. Around 9 p.m. that night, he appeared cheerful and showed absolutely no warning signs of distress. There was no indication he was sad, stressed, or dealing with any personal trouble right before he made his final social media post. He was at a casual dinner with a few of his friends, and I mean close friends, guys. Nothing weird about the get-together at all. Just a laid-back meal. After it wrapped up around 2 a.m., which technically was already September 11th. He was heading back to his apartment in the Koyang district of Beijing. He headed into one of the bedrooms and locked himself in. And, everything was quiet that morning, guys. But then, 4 hours after Menglong got home, at 6 a.m., the cops got a call from a local who was just taking their dog out for a walk. They reported seeing a person lying motionless beside Menglong's apartment complex. The police flew over there right away. And yeah, there was definitely a body outside the building. The incident occurred right below the window of the famous actor Yu Menglong's room. Imagine the police's shock when they discovered the victim was Yu Menglong himself. The public soon realized something was off, and the oddities started to surface shortly after. Before the police could even release an official statement, the news of Menglong's death was actually first uploaded by a Chinese blogger named Detective Xiaoyang. They posted on Weibo claiming that Menglong had fallen from an apartment building in Beijing. Since there was no official statement from the authorities, Weibo absolutely blew up at the time. Everyone was asking the same questions. Is this even true? Is this for real? Could Menglong really have lost his life? Is he actually gone? Did he truly fall from his apartment? What happened? The speculation went through the roof, especially because Detective Xiaoyan had some evidence to back the claims. They posted photos and videos which fueled countless public assumptions. And when the police finally did release an official statement, it didn't help matters. Authorities quickly concluded that what happened to Menglong was an accidental fall. The family and the actor's management team released a similar short statement saying Menglong had died from a fall after consuming alcohol. The management team also pleaded with the public to stop spreading rumors and requested privacy for the family. However, the statement did little to quell the assumptions that were already running wild across the internet. An incident of such magnitude, one that shocked fans both locally and internationally, was not considered sufficiently explained by the brief statements that had been released. Fans, in particular, were left unsatisfied after the police closed the case just like that. Now, the story of Menglong's final moments flared up again after a controversial commentator named Sung Zhu made a scathing public statement on social media on the 17th of September 2025. He urged Menglong's mentor, Shan Di Rong, to personally go to Beijing and defend his protege, stating that the mentor, acting as a father figure, should be standing on the front lines.
Yu Menglong 就是我从学校选出来的8位练习生，教他们了1年6个月之后，我要回台湾。当我发觉后来是天瑜做这些事情之后，我自己非常懊恼，非常难过。他快乐男生不要选上，他现在是不是还快快乐乐的活在这个世界上？我只能说，我每离开一个公司或状况，我都不会跟人家联络，不会因为人家红了我去蹭人家或怎么样。
谢谢爸爸。没事，我这个有，一起舔就好了。
大家可以听到他叫我就是爸爸，因为这句爸爸，我就应该义无反顾地帮他做完每一件他的事。
That controversial commentator also suggested that Menglong's family was too weak to handle the pressure, and he boldly claimed that there's a group of people acting with impunity. The weird thing is, that strong statement quickly vanished from social media, which only made the public more suspicious. Is it possible that a public commentator isn't even allowed to talk about this? Maybe there really is something being covered up.
来揭开于朦胧
到底被
The public also started to notice many other strange inconsistencies. It began with the official information about the evidence found at the scene being quite limited. The police also adamantly insisted there were absolutely no signs of violence on his body. The items in his apartment also looked normal, but they never discussed important things like the position his body was found in, any marks on the floor, objects near the scene, or what made the authorities so certain there was no external involvement. The first of the other inconsistencies is that the police were too quick to draw conclusions. As we just discussed, the public wasn't satisfied that the case of someone as high profile as Menglong was closed so quickly without a proper investigation. There was still so much that could have been done. An autopsy, evidence collection, interviewing witnesses, CCTV analysis. All of these steps are suspected of being skipped because the police immediately announced that Menglong's death was an accident just a few hours after his body was found. The public felt the investigation was too rushed, as if someone wanted to quickly sweep it under the rug. Meanwhile, if it truly was an accidental fall after consuming alcohol, why were they never informed of the blood alcohol level, what he might have consumed, and what exactly made the police so certain of that conclusion? There wasn't even an autopsy report released to the public. The next inconsistency is the circulating rumor that the CCTV footage went missing. You guys know that CCTV footage is the most crucial piece of evidence for solving a case in this modern era. The strange thing in Menglong's case is that when they reportedly went to check the footage, some of the recordings were either missing or couldn't be viewed, supposedly due to technical damage. This is a pretty major inconsistency, isn't it? Why would CCTV recordings suddenly suffer a technical error right when they are needed most? Or was someone trying to cover their tracks? Several online media outlets and fan forums dedicated to Menglong have claimed that surveillance footage exists showing the moments before his fall. In one of the alleged recordings, Menglong is reportedly seen hanging from a window. Another clip circulating supposedly shows a man believed to be Menglong running through a parking lot as if being chased. He is then seen being and dragged away. Finally, in a separate recording that has allegedly been shared, the sound of Menglong's screams and crying can be heard just before he was found deceased. The next peculiar thing is the behavior of his friends. So here's the interesting part. Remember, guys? The person who first reported Menglong's fall was one of his neighbors who was walking their dog early that morning. Another witness claimed that a few of Menglong's friends, who were also on the scene at the time, either just returning to the apartment from a party or heading home, actually saw him approach. But instead of showing a hint of panic, they simply looked, confirmed it was Menglong, and then used an article of clothing to cover his face. That's all they did. They literally just covered his face. The most disturbing detail, they didn't call the police. Not one of them contacted an ambulance. They saw Menglong lying there, checked on him briefly, covered his face, and then simply left. Isn't that unsettling? Wouldn't you call that suspicious? There was another strange detail. The discovery of a Rolex watch. When his body was found, one detail really caused a public stir. A Rolex watch was discovered in his trouser pocket. That might sound completely normal, an actor having an expensive watch, but the strange thing was, the Rolex didn't belong to Menglong. According to several accounts, the luxury watch actually belonged to one of his close friends. But if the watch genuinely wasn't his, why was it in Menglong's pocket? This could be a key clue, as its location opens up two major possibilities. First, was the watch deliberately planted? Perhaps it was a hidden message left by the last person who met with Menglong. If that's the case, it suggests an attempt to steer the investigation in a certain direction. Or, there's the second possibility, was the watch accidentally taken? Maybe he just borrowed it, or was planning to return it. But even that is undeniable proof that Menglong had either just met with, or was on his way to meet, the owner of that watch. Does this Rolex point to the involvement of one of Menglong's closest associates? There's also the theory that the watch was used to frame someone. Now, here's the interesting part. A luxury watch, like a Rolex, typically has a serial number. The police could use that number to track down the owner. Yet, there was never any report that this was done. This omission, once again, fueled public speculation that something was being hidden. The next suspicious piece of evidence is the mysterious USB. Besides the watch found in his pocket, a USB flash drive was also discovered on Menglong's body. Again, the police or authorities haven't released any information about what's on the USB, which makes people wonder, shouldn't something like this be made public to eliminate assumptions? This lack of transparency has led to a flurry of theories. Could the Rolex and the USB be Menglong's final message? Maybe a will? Or something else entirely? Or perhaps it contained information that Menglong was planning to use to expose someone, but unfortunately, he was taken out first. What are your thoughts on this? Drop a comment below. The next inconsistency has to do with the apartment window. Menglong supposedly fell from a high-rise building, but there are a bunch of rumors circulating that something was off with the condition of his apartment's window and the safety net. Several reports claimed the safety screen looked loose or damaged in a way that just wouldn't make sense from a regular fall. And get this, there are even some photos floating around on social media that fans snapped before the apartment was cordoned off by police. There's a photo that actually shows scratches around the window of Menglong's apartment. Plus, we've got reports from technical staff who are saying that the window screen or mosquito netting shouldn't have been able to come off easily unless they used some kind of special tool. If it wasn't easy to remove without a tool, then how are those scratches on the side even possible? The plot thickens. There are these mysterious curved scratches around the 5th floor apartment window and a handprint on the window of the room directly below. That handprint, guys. The scratches are being seen as a sign of a struggle. Meanwhile, the handprint is thought to prove that Menglong was held upside down at one point, trying to save himself before he was finally dropped to his death. Because if he fell straight down, there's no way that inverted handprint would be on the window below, right? This would actually line up with the video found earlier, suggesting he was briefly held with his head down. So, it matches the scenario that fans have drawn up. Oh my god. The next piece of the puzzle. The next perplexing point comes from Menglong's fans. They find it extremely strange to suggest Menglong either fell accidentally or jumped intentionally, say due to stress or other issues. The reason is that he had a severe fear of heights, or acrophobia. Therefore, if he were to take his own life, falling from a high place would be the absolute last option. It's also highly unlikely he would have even been playing or messing around near a window because of this phobia. What are your thoughts on this? The final inconsistency. The final perplexing point is the statement from Menglong's own mother, which many found confusing. Menglong's mother published an official statement asserting that her son died in an accident. She also asked the public to stop spreading rumors. However, for many fans, this statement only made the situation more inconsistent because they felt she was speaking with extremely guarded language. It was as if she were trying to hide something. Of course, for us, we might not speak the language, so we don't pick up on it. But to the locals, they noticed something was off. The language she used didn't seem natural. This raised questions about whether her statement truly came from the heart of a grieving mother, or if external pressure prevented her from freely seeking justice for her son.
来揭开于朦胧
到底被
So many rumors are circulating, One major one is the possibility that Menglong committed suicide, perhaps because of the intense strain of the entertainment world, his heavy workload, contract obligations, or disputes with his management or other individuals. Sadly, we've seen this happen with many big-name celebrities in China before. Was the pressure just too much for him to bear, driving him to the edge, until he was ultimately overcome by the darkness that night? The next theory is that he was murdered by a specific party. Whoever this party was, they must be incredibly powerful, given that they were even able to censor the media and take down social media posts. This has led the public to suspect that Menglong might have had a conflict with a major figure in the entertainment world. Some people even say that Menglong was blacklisted by the entertainment industry for refusing to play by the unwritten rules. There are also whispers that he got hold of secrets belonging to a powerful figure, which is what ultimately made him a threat. So, one theory that got really popular on social media, I was reading up on it, is that a lot of successful but not super successful actors take on side jobs, like even being escorts to accompany people. The theory, and this is just the public's theory out there, is that maybe Menglong had a side hustle like that, where he could actually be booked for his companionship. But then something happened. Maybe there was a conflict, or he became a liability because he knew too much about his clients, and that's why he was ultimately killed. And now there's an even wilder theory circulating. It's a rumor that is absolutely stunning, something that is truly beyond human comprehension. Initially, people were only saying the party at the elite complex in Chaoyang district was attended by just 5 or 6 people. But now, a brand new leak has surfaced, one that's far more explosive and detailed, and it's genuinely rocking the Chinese public. But just to be clear, this is a hot rumor circulating in China. Now, according to the Virell leak, the party wasn't just 5 or 6 people. It might have been up to 17. And apparently, the floor where the victim was found isn't where things first went down. There was another location earlier where those dozen-plus people gathered, and several of them fled in the early morning hours. What sent this rumor through the roof was the claim that the party was a front for a shady, multi-billion-dollar illicit industry network. The gossip even dragged in major names like the kids of government officials, company CEOs, and powerful figures from the media and investment worlds. Now, the darkest, the most chilling part of this whole rumor is what allegedly happened to Menglong. They say this wasn't an accident at all, it was premeditated. Menglong was supposedly forced to drink until he was severely intoxicated and then given a sedative that completely paralyzed his body, making him utterly defenseless. The leak also pointed to evidence of extreme brutality on Menglong's sensitive areas, a detail that sparked instant, widespread public fury the moment the rumor hit the streets. And guys, if you want to see the latest theories or rumors we just discussed, you can check out this video. It goes way more into detail and it's much more graphic there. I'm going to show you a quick clip, but I can't show you the full thing because the explanation is even more graphic. Plus, I'm worried that YouTube will take me down if I show the whole video.
8号晚上11点至12点已经被灌醉迷晕，9号凌晨1、2点已经开始被轮奸。于朦胧当时还有意识，没有向他们屈服。
This is absolutely insane. If that theory or rumor is true, how could a person do something so utterly cruel to another human being? It's just sheer brutality. What are your thoughts on this? Is this just some insane, made-up hoax? Or is there a grain of truth behind this very organized rumor? Drop your opinion in the comments below. So, this case just blew up in China, guys. It got so big that the Beijing police finally stepped in. But they didn't reopen the case or launch any extra investigation just to satisfy the public. They ended up arresting 3 women who were deemed hoax spreaders for inciting public unrest. The police claimed these 3 women admitted to fabricating and circulating the rumors, resulting in them being named suspects for the spread of false information. The cause of death was further locked in by an official announcement from the Beijing Public Security Bureau Chaoyang branch on the 21st of September 2025. In the announcement, police stated their investigation was complete, including the crime scene, forensic tests, CCTV footage, and interviews, all of which pointed to an accident. The family has reportedly been informed of the results. And that's the official word from the authorities. But even so, if you search on social media today, guys, you'll still find tons of theories, a lot of rumors, speculation, and people who feel like things are being hidden and they're simply not satisfied with the police investigation. What do you all think about this? I'm throwing this out to you guys. Do you see the inconsistencies as part of a conspiracy, that the real truth is actually being covered up? Or do you agree with the police's final decision? Let me know in the comments below. And that wraps up today's case. If there were any misspoken words or mispronounced names, please accept my apologies. I absolutely didn't mean to be disrespectful. Thank you so much for watching until the end. Don't forget to hit that subscribe button, because I can't wait to see you all again. Because if you're still watching this, maybe you're looking for the same thing I am.